Hi, folks, and welcome into another edition of This Week in Pearl. I'm your host, Frank Hutton, and have I got a great show lined out for you today. I have been looking so forward to this opportunity to bring in our guest today. This is one that I've wanted to really kind of get to know because this agency that exists in the state of Mississippi is kind of like behind the curtain of Oz. So today I'm going to introduce you to Leanne Robinson. She is the Executive Director of the Legislative Budget Office. Now, you're going to say, what in the world is the Legislative Budget Office? Well, the LBO. Everybody's heard of the Congressional Budget Office in the federal government. This is the Legislative Budget Office right here in the state of Mississippi. And just you wait, because we're going to get into what they actually do and how they help craft the state budget. So when we come back, we're going to be joined by Ms. Robinson, the Executive Director of LBO. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Here in Pearl, we have Trustmark Park. It seats 8,500 people. It's a great venue that we have here locally. You can catch a baseball game. We have a new team, the Mississippi Mud Monsters, so we're so excited about that. And Trustmark Park, the stadium's been fully renovated. Adjacent to that, we have Bass Pro Shop, as well as the Mississippi outlets that people can come shop and enjoy and have a great time. So it's a good place to come. It's a destination spot for our city. We did a $12 million renovation to our Parks and Rec several years ago, and what we were missing was another key area for our children to come and just be able to hang out and have fun, but also have some playground equipment that was really cutting edge. I've always thought if you can get your community together, then you can have a stronger sense of community. And I think that's what Main Street brings to the table for us. And even though we're a post-World War II city and our architectural doesn't signify a downtown, we're trying to have an area that we create that people can come together and have a sense of community.
Hi, folks. Welcome into this edition of This Week in Pearl. And now I am joined by somebody that I have been looking so forward to bringing to you in an interview today. I am joined by none other than the Director of the Legislative Budget Office, Leanne Robinson.
Thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much. And of course, our very own esteemed colleague here, Senator Dean Kirby.
Thank you.
Governor.
Glad to be here.
Welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you. I want to introduce you a little bit to folks because people don't really understand LBO. And I have been wanting to have the Legislative Budget Office on this show for years. So thank you so much for coming. I want to introduce our audience a little bit to you. So she is the Director of the Mississippi Legislative Budget Office. She has played a key role in analyzing state programs and budgets, and now oversees the office that helps legislatures make some of the Mississippi's most important financial decisions. Her work touches nearly every area of state government, from education and healthcare to public safety and infrastructure. Leanne, welcome.
Well, thank you.
Glad to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
I wanted everybody to understand the Legislative Budget Office, of which you are responsible for, touches every single agency or literally department or division in the state of Mississippi, does it not?
Yes, every dollar that leaves the state capitol comes through our office.
Comes through LBO. All right, so let's talk a little bit about you.
Okay.
First of all, you earned your political science degree from Mississippi College in 1995.
Millsaps College.
Millsaps College. Excuse me, my bad.
I'm the Choctaw.
You're the Choctaw.
She's the major.
Millsaps College in 1995, and a master's in public policy and administration from MSU in 97. Mm-hmm. You began your state government career at the Mississippi Department of Rehab. You later worked as program evaluator for the Mississippi Peer Committee, which we've had on this show, correct?
Yes.
And you have worked under multiple governors, lieutenant governors, speakers, legislative members, et cetera, for absolute years.
Yes.
You have had, I guess, a wonderful career because you have been there for a minute.
Yes, I hit my 29 this summer. So I've been with the state for 29 years, going
Wow.
on 30.
That's
so
amazing.
yes, that was one of the things that coming out, I was like, I need to go to work for the state so that I know I'll be able to retire in the future. And I have done that. So
Wonderful. So give us the backstory of what I don't know. Where are you from?
So I grew up in Northeast Jackson. My father was an optometrist. My mother was a CPA. Part of the reason I went to Millsaps is she wanted me to be a tax attorney. And so I took enough accounting to do that, but then I took constitutional law and was like, yeah, I will never be an attorney. I do not want to go to law school.
Sure.
So I fell into public administration, found the program up at Mississippi State, and went there. I'm actually still on the board for the program, so I do outreach for that. But went and got my master's in public administration. Really wanted to be a program evaluator. Interviewed with Peer right after I graduated. Didn't get on with them at first. Stayed with Rehab Services. I actually worked with them. Have you ever heard of the T.K. Martin Center up at Mississippi State? I was the third employee at that facility.
Wow.
I was a graduate assistant. They had just opened it, so I was working for a Tech Alliance, which I work with people with disabilities, getting them computers and equipment that they need. And so I did that for about a year and a half with rehab, and then went to work for Peer for 4 years. And then a friend of mine was on at LBO and was like, I think you can do this. I'm like, I'm scared of numbers. She's like, it's okay, you can do it. And I was like, I'm more policy, you can do it. So I came on over, and I've been at the budget office, left for a little bit to go be the administrative services director at insurance under Commissioner Mike Cheney, but came back, decided 174 members were a little bit easier than one statewide. So
One statewide.
yeah,
So you were Northeast Jackson. Where'd you go to high school?
Jackson Academy.
Wonderful. What year did you go there?
91. I graduated in 91.
In
So
91. We may know some similar people.
Probably.
I went to Woodland Hills.
oh, okay, yeah. I grew up at Broadmoor Baptist,
went
so
to
everybody went to Woodland
But I'm
Hills.
class of 87, so
Ah.
I'm a little ahead of
Yeah.
you. So, but yeah, so you're Jackson Academy. Okay, well, we probably know some of the
Yes.
some of the same people. Married?
Yes. So my husband Ward, his family moved down here from Memphis when he was a junior in high school and graduated from Brandon.
Okay.
He has a degree in landscape architecture from Mississippi
Oh.
State.
Cool.
He has been for a few years the landscape director for the city of Flowood. So
Okay.
all of Lakeland you see
Well,
was
it's all
his
very
garden.
pretty. Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
And I have two kids. My daughter Mary Everett, who graduated from Northwest and is at Holmes right now, and then my son is going into 10th grade at Hartfield Academy. So yeah, so we've been in Rankin County. Once we got married, he was like, I'm not living across the river. I want to be in Rankin County. So we have lived out at the reservoir for 6 years at this point.
Wow.
So yeah,
Been here a minute.
I've been here a minute.
Well, you grew up here. so
Yes.
that's
Well, he
fun.
gets mad when I say, where are you from? And I say Jackson. He goes, no, you're from Rankin County. So please just say Rankin County.
There you go.
I try.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's fantastic.
Yes.
So great. So you're a fellow Rankin County
Yes.
then.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So you have a very important job that I want you to kind of introduce to the public, because I don't think people really grasp what the Legislative Budget Office actually is. Now, I think a lot of people kind of get that maybe confused a little bit if you think about, well, because when we talk about this on the show, right, Dean, when we talk about this, about, well, it's LBO numbers, it comes from the LBO, and people hear about the CBO, the federal side, all the time.
Right.
The Congressional Budget Office this, and Congressional Budget Office that, you know, and how they come up with numbers and things. And that's separate. CBO, LBO is separate from the executive branch.
Correct.
This is legislative specific, correct?
Correct.
So I guess my first question, I phrase it like this. For someone who's never heard of LBO, what exactly does your office do? How do you explain that role to the fifth grader, to an average taxpayer? What is it that you actually do? So
we do everything from every dollar that leaves the Capitol, like I mentioned earlier. So, for example, I'm appointed by the Speaker and Lieutenant Governor. Our office has a staff of right around 30. I actually do all the IT in the Capitol as well, but my main focus is the budget. So From start to finish, it's very cyclical. Starting June 1st, all the agency budgets came live. We actually, I have over 270 budget documents that agencies input into our system that my analysts then go and make sure it's balanced and done correctly, and we balance back with DFA. Years ago, there was a split between the executive branch and the legislature where every agency has to have a separate appropriation bill based on our Constitution. So in other states, they may have 6 or 7 appropriation bills, where here in Mississippi we have almost 120. So every individual agency has their own appropriation bill. So we go from start to finish. So once we come in and have budget hearings in September, we'll have an overview with the people on our committee, which Senator Kirby is one of our members, and we actually tell them everything that has happened, how much money was actually spent the prior fiscal year, how much we estimate will be coming for the next fiscal year, and where the hiccups are going to happen. Like, for example, over the past few years with the One Big Beautiful Bill, we have a SNAP error rate at DHS that we're having to work through with how we're going to be able to fund that. So we start in September having budget hearings. In November, we actually meet with the governor and set the joint revenue estimate. That's the only place during this whole session that the governor is involved. The governor has to put his budget out by November 15th based on statute, and our committee has to have it out by December 15th. So we actually go through every single budget and make reductions or add money in statutorily, and that's the blueprint of how we start the session, which by the first day of session, we have to have the budget book out on everybody's desk, which you can then look in every single agency and see what the recommendation is from the committee. And the committee has a lot of involvement. So we'll go in and we'll say, hey, we had to cut this, this, and this out of these agencies. Do you want to add anything back? And we'll go in and add the PERS and health insurance increases that have happened. So the committee actually directs what we are putting into the budget. And then once they approve it, we release it out. And then once we get into session, we actually have budget hearings for every single agency on both the House and the Senate. The Senate actually live streams all of theirs, so you can see what the members are asking, and then we start drafting the bills. So our staff actually drafts those bills. All the other bills in the Capitol are drafted out of the LSO or drafting offices on the House and the Senate. We actually draft ours. Our committee assistants work really well with our staff, and the bills are split 50-50. So I have about 50 that start on the House and 50 that start on the Senate. So in first House action, we draft a full budget on both sides usually, and then we flip them. And for second House, and then we go into conference. So we are there with them all the way through that process to ensure that the policies that the Speaker and Lieutenant Governor want to put into the spending bills are put in. So we actually write the language in the appropriation bills and do all of that. It's a lot.
Yes, and so it leads me to a lot of questions.
Yes, sir.
So that's amazing. So to tie that into what I'm sitting here thinking about. Mm-hmm. So really, you're the financial advisor.
Correct.
To him. Mm-hmm. To the legislator.
Well, to the committee. And
yes, right. But as a whole, you're the financial advisor. So what I'm hearing you say is you go to DFA, and DFA says, here are your numbers that we're collecting, mm-hmm. And the Department of Revenue says this is how much money is brought in. DFA saying this is how much money we have, and you're looking at that, and then you're pulling the expenses that each agency has done. So you're saying, okay, this is what you're spending and this is what we've got coming in. Now, there's no crystal ball here.
No.
Obviously. How are you going, okay, DFA and Department of Revenue says I'm going to have this much money. How do you feel comfortable with that? Before you start that process?
Right.
How do you feel comfortable at the very beginning, at the front end? How do you feel comfortable with the numbers that they're telling you that are projected?
So we have a revenue estimating committee that is outlined in statute, mm-hmm. that the treasurer, I'm on blank on treasurer, revenue, Department of Revenue, the Commissioner of Revenue, the Corey with the chief economist, the treasurer, DFA, and us.
Okay.
So we get together in the fall and go through line by line all the budget, all the revenue that's coming into the state. My office, through our chief revenue officer, actually releases the revenue report every month. So we are tracking it monthly as to what's coming in and what's reducing, what's
Right,
not
right.
doing well. With the tax reform that has happened over the past few years, we have to go in and make sure we've taken down enough in income tax. But we are seeing that sales tax for years had been holding us steady. So the past few years, when COVID hit, we ended up being almost $1 billion over in revenue than we had budgeted for. And that kind of took us all by surprise, because when everything shut down at COVID, we were like, well, we're going to end up having to cut budgets and it's going to be bad. And we actually, that session, reduced some agencies. Well, then the next year we come in and now we're sitting on over $1 billion that has gone to capital expense funds. And we were able to do some things in the state. The legislature wanted to rewrite the spending formula for education, and so they've done that. But we actually track monthly. Like, I have a pretty good relationship with the Commissioner of Revenue,
So
where
you're looking at trend.
I'm looking at trends. We go to revenue conferences to see what other states are doing. We're close to one or two other states, but we're really kind of on our own. A lot of states around here have no income tax, but they basically work off a property tax locally that comes to the state. We don't do that. Our local taxes stay at home, stay in your home county.
Right.
So I'm looking at that revenue all through the year. I will go ahead.
Well, you actually send us the ones on the committee. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
With the committees, like 7 members, by the way, from the Senate. I think it's 7.
7.
And then 7 on the House side. Of course, you got the Lieutenant Governor and Speaker that alternate years being the chairman of LBO, of the committee. And then you have the pro tem appropriation chairman, finance chairman, and the others are by congressional district appointed by the Lieutenant Governor and Speaker. Now, but what I started to say, those people make the recommendations based on their information,
Right.
and we send across street for the appropriation chairman to look at in the committee. But all that saying this, you send us a monthly report, so we get to the committee, we see the trend every month, and before we start having our committee meetings in September, September, November, and then December
Yes, sir.
for final adoption recommendation. Now, when you hear LBO recommendation it's gone through all that process.
Right, but I mean, you're
And
right,
it's-
and so understanding how we get through that process was like, where's the beginning line? And my thought was what you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Was the beginning line is, okay, well, we're bringing in these people,
Yes.
and we're looking at the trend of the revenue, how that go, and then it's an educated guess at that point, right?
Yes.
I
it
mean,
is.
really, let's, I mean,
They-
because
Well,
you're
yeah.
using all of this data that's coming in, and
Yeah.
you have history as a guide.
Correct.
That's showing, and then you're saying, okay, well, if we have new policies that we enacted last year, how is that going to affect based off of history?
Yeah.
And so that's where if my understanding
Yes.
is correct, that's how you're determining, okay, well, we're going to have $7 billion next year.
Yeah, unless you have a
and I'm just-
COVID or
and I'm,
something.
right, and I'm just using a number.
Right,
'cause
right,
I'm
right.
just
And,
using a
and
number.
look, they're always, to me, tell me if I'm wrong, but always end up being within 1%.
Yes.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
That's
you got
in-
over a
that's
seven,
right.
she'll tell
That's
you, $7 billion
incredible,
budget.
But that just goes to your committee,
the group.
committee and the group and the staff, because you guys are staying so
Oh, they're up on it. They're
on
good.
top of the data.
They're very
I mean,
good.
that's all right. So leads me to the next thing. You mentioned meeting with the governor's office because now you're legislative.
Correct.
You're not executive branch.
That is correct.
The executive branch has their own budget. Do you guys meet that one time you said, but do you talk more often than just that one time?
Yes, we do.
Obviously.
Yes, I have a very good relationship with the Director of Finance and Administration. We talk very regularly. When we do that revenue meeting, their director goes back to the governor. The governor, since he was the state treasurer and was a lieutenant governor, he's very
He
involved.
understands it
He
completely.
understands the numbers.
Sure.
He always has a very strong opinion of where the revenues are going. I'll mention this. There's only been 2 times we have not released a budget. out of the budget office. We've had two. 1 year was way back in 2008 where the committee didn't agree with the governor, so the governor released his own budget and we didn't. And then 2 years ago, the committee wanted to lower the revenue estimate and the governor did not, so the committee did not release a budget. We didn't have a joint revenue estimate that year. So typically we do agree. The governor's been real open in our meetings and our committee meetings that are live streamed that he agrees or disagrees with the numbers. The past few years he's agreed. So his representative, that director of DFA, talks to him about those numbers. And so when he comes in, he will have already talked to his staff and agrees or not. And then his finance and administration people, they actually put their budget document together through his office.
Okay. Because
So-
I know there's got to be some
Yeah.
conversation there.
There is.
There has to be. I mean, it can't just be one time, one and done. I mean, obviously not. Y'all
Yeah.
have to. I mean, you're
Well,
talking
the budget request that we have, we actually give to the governor's office. Also, the performance measures that we collect, the governor's office actually links to our agency to show those performance measures as well. So we work with the governor's office pretty regularly.
yes, and that kind of leads me into the.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm really trying to break this down. I'm thinking of
know.
it like if I was a fifth grader. You
Yeah.
know, how would I really understand this? So, and keeping it kind of high level because I don't want to get in the weeds.
Right.
But so the conversations started, beginning. So this starts in September, and it's like all hands on deck up until the new year when you've got to release the book
Correct.
for the next legislative session coming up in January.
Correct.
My question is this: it seems like you guys, and help me if I'm wrong. It seems like you guys run, and I guess I'm thinking about it maybe wrong. Seems like you run maybe a year behind. Because I know if you're talking about budgets now, we're just starting the one they just passed.
Yes.
So help me wrap my brain around that. If I'm a department head in the city of Pearl, my budget starts in fiscal October, not July.
Yes.
But I don't start budget talks until now, but it's going to start in October.
Yeah.
You're going to start budget talks now that are going to start in July of 27.
Yeah. No. We're going to.
Yeah.
July
Yeah.
27th.
And
Or
we haven't even
27
started,
to 28.
and we haven't
Yeah.
even started spending 26 yet.
Yeah.
So help
right.
me understand this.
So we work in 3 fiscal years.
Yes, help me understand this.
We are currently in fiscal year 26,
Mm-hmm.
closing out. The state will go through the lapse period in August. So like I'm actually having conversations regularly right now. I have an agency that had to do a big leave payout and they're going to go into a deficit to get out of the year.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's not great for you. He's like, well, we can pay it this way. But then July 1, we start the year that we just finished in the session.
Sure.
So we start 27, and then in September, the agencies are telling me what they want for 28.
That's right.
And so,
Right.
and so agencies are doing
And-
their best that they can to estimate what they think they're going to need in the future.
As I said earlier, and they do all that far in advance and always just about within 1%.
I know that's what
right on.
that's what I'm trying. Like you said, you work in 3 fiscal years. Right now we're in 26. We start 27 in a month.
Yeah.
But now we're also fixing to start budget
For
28.
talks for 28, and I
That's
haven't
right.
even started spending 27 yet.
Correct.
And so how help me here? How do I, as an agency in the state, be able to budget for something in 28 that I may not have any idea that I'm even going to need?
Well, that's true, because we could pass legislation, give them additional pins and everything else.
That's-
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and policies
How
can
does-
change.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
So
Help me understand that.
so
'cause
an
I think
agent-
that's where LBO is so pivotal
Yeah.
on helping the state move forward.
That's
because
right.
this to me is the crux of the whole thing.
So I will say this: it's more like we almost have two kind of budget request cycles. So an agency can tell me they want level funding in the fall. So a small agency may say, "Look, whatever you gave us in 27 will carry us through 28." Well, so they're pretty easy to do a recommendation on. Well,
Sure.
we typically just reduce if they have vacancies, which is if they're carrying money that doesn't associate with a particular person, or they have a contract that's going away that they no longer need those funds for, and we'll reduce their budget that way. And that's what will end up in the legislative budget recommendation. Then when we come in January and they have seen those numbers, because the agencies don't get those numbers until the budget book comes out in January, and they go, oh, they cut us more than we thought they were. They then come in January and almost start the process all over again. So my staff then has to go to the appropriations subcommittee chairman and say, okay, now the agency ended up getting a $100,000 cut. Well, now they're asking for that back plus another position and another computer contract.
I got it.
So we now have to track it all the way through to say, okay, this is what they requested. This is, this is the money that they're needing. And so when we get down into conference, it starts all over again. And we meet with the conference.
At the very end.
At the very end, it starts all over again. So it's like I have 3 different budgets, because I'll have a House budget, a Senate budget, and then I have to get the 2 conferences.
And then the conference budget.
The conference budget, yeah,
Right,
which will end up
right.
being my final budget.
Which is the final budget.
Correct.
But that makes, okay, so you're helping me out. So I'm at least 6 months in on my expenditures by the time the book hits.
Yes,
Yeah.
So I
correct.
have a little bit of an idea.
Yes.
Yeah, the budget committee, we send over across
Yeah.
the street to the Capitol
Yeah, yeah.
is basically
Right.
a blueprint.
Right.
This is what we think we're
Yeah.
going to
Right.
have and what we think we're going to need.
Right, and so you basically do it 3 times.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then in
Okay.
that book, I'm telling them how much money's available. So if I have other members that want to say, hey, I saw in the front of the book, you got $1 billion in CapEx. What are we doing with it? I'm like, go talk to leadership. We'll find out.
Okay, so that does help. Okay, you've touched it 3 times
Yes.
for 1 fiscal year,
Mm-hmm.
literally. So you have put it in the strainer. You've washed, rinsed, repeat a whole bunch of times, which makes sense why they're within 1% every year, because you are doing the work starting in September.
Correct.
So you really enjoy this time of year, because right now this is vacation.
Yes.
June and July,
Quiet.
it's the 2 months of the year for you that
Yes. You can take a breath.
you can breathe, because
Yes.
starting in August you're getting ready for September.
Correct.
Right.
So you're really on a school year.
Uh-huh.
Would
Very
that
much
be,
so.
Would that be about right?
That would be about right.
You guys work on a school year calendar. So
We do.
you go back to work in August, and when May rolls around, you're like,
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
when May rolls around, you're like, golly.
Yeah, once we get the bulletin published, which is
Yes,
our end of session
yes.
packet, once it gets done, we are
So does
able
everybody
to,
go on vacation
Yes,
in June and July at the
yes,
same time?
Yeah.
yeah, because where we sit during session, we're
Yeah.
all in one space.
Yeah.
It's no bigger than this studio, and there's 12 of us up there,
Yeah.
so we need to be away from
You
each
need to
other.
be.
Yes.
So you've been real close.
We've
for
been real close,
nine and a
it's,
half
yes,
months.
it's
10
time
months.
to go do
it's
our
time
own
to
thing.
go do
yes,
something else.
and
Okay.
relearn our family.
And no legislator ever yells at y'all or anything
Oh no.
about where'd you get that number? Yeah.
Okay, so I think that helps me and hopefully that helps
Yes.
people kind of understand how you get the numbers you give to the Senate and the House. You know, how you guys managed to get there.
Yeah.
Hopefully I didn't make it worse. But it does make sense to me now.
Well, good.
And I can go back. People can just hit rewind.
I'm sorry to say they're going to have to watch this more than once to kind of
Hit
understand.
rewind. Just
Yeah.
hit rewind, because it will help you understand. All right, so that kind of moves me into, I guess, the next question. Since we're talking about all this, what's the biggest change you've seen in how the state government manages the taxpayer dollar in the years you have been there? What is the biggest change? And the reason why I ask this question is I haven't read it, and I think Dee may know. But what's the biggest change you've seen from today based on how they were spending the taxpayer dollars 20 years ago? What's the biggest change?
So when I first started, I think our budget was right at $4 billion. Our state's our general fund budget was
Yeah.
like $4.5 billion, probably in the early 2000s.
Right.
We're now almost 7.4,
Yeah,
7.6 is
give
what
or
our
take.
revenue's running.
Right.
So 7.3 I think is what our budget for 27 is. I will say back then they were using one-time money to fund things. We were not having enough revenue. They also were funding everything at 100%. One of the things that is important in our state is there's a law that says we only appropriate 98% of the revenue. So we always have a 2% set aside.
Right.
Back when I first started,
Rainy day fund.
yeah,
Yes.
which goes to the rainy day
Right.
fund. Back when I first started, we were budgeting 100%, and we were having to come in and cut agencies during the year. Fortunately, due to policies and things and how well the revenue has been doing in the state, they've been able to not use one-time money for anything in the past 10 or 15 years. They've also fully funded the rainy day fund. That had never been done. When we changed the funding formula of the student funding formula, they've been fully funding it for the past few years. MAEP was never fully funded. So the legislature now really takes to heart the statutes and the policies that they pass and wanting to fund those things. They try not to do unfunded mandates. They really try to put those funds in an agency or in the community like they needed to be. For example, MDOT, for the past 3 or 4 years, they have been doing a lot of one-time money to MDOT to do some of these major projects, like the one outside of Oxford and one going into Memphis, and then they're going to do Lakeland. And the legislature has really chosen to use some of that one-time money to help MDOT, where before MDOT was turning back federal money because they didn't have enough funds.
Because they didn't have it in, right.
They didn't have enough state match.
The matching funds.
I mean, we put up like 20%, get 80. I mean,
Yeah.
Right, why not?
yeah.
Right.
So that's really
that's been the biggest change. It's really been more of a fiscal, following fiscal policy that was enacted.
Correct.
That maybe hadn't been done before. And the reason why I asked that question, because we've talked about this, me and you and several other people. I even talked about this last week with Philip Gunn. There was a point in an election cycle, because the LBO, and I'm going to say this, LBO is non-political. They are not politically oriented with any Democrat, Republican. They're not. You remain independent.
Yes.
But I go back to that 2008 legislative session that I can point to on a timeline where things started to change. And you mentioned that there was one year that
It was that year.
it was that year. And that's why I'm kind of bringing us back to that, because things started to change. And I think that's where that what you're talking about changed there, where the legislature is really adhering to fiscal policy. And then really started working together closely, would you say?
Yes, closely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
because
so.
I think at that time that was Billy McCoy was still
Yeah,
speaker.
he was.
Yeah. And so then once it went to Philip,
It went
And
in 2012.
Phil Bryant.
Bill Bryant, yes sir, was the lieutenant governor. So
You know,
it really
Leanne
took off.
touched on something very important and something we really look at that I don't know that they did as much in the years past, recurring expenses. When she started talking about spending one-time money, that you could see one-time money. You can see the buildings, you can see the highways. you
Right,
can-
right, because that's usually a capital expense.
But when you start doing pay raises
Right.
and increases in whatever that are annual recurring expenses, then you develop a problem.
Yes.
So we have
Because-
to be very careful on
Because
recurring.
as we talk about, if you've got that one-time money, well, you can't replace it next year. It's one-time
One time.
money.
But they'll say, but you got $1 billion. Well, yeah, we do.
Right, right.
But we're
It's-
not going to have that extra billion
I'm not
next
going to have
year.
it next year.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
we'll spend it this year.
Yeah.
correct.
Right. So we
Yeah.
spend.
Or leave it rainy day fund.
Leave it. Yeah.
Right. So we spend 98%. 2% mandated goes into rainy day fund.
Correct.
Yeah. And of course, one thing we've done that they didn't do too is instead of going further in debt every year for the last 8 years, we're paying off debt. We've paid off
Yeah,
$2 billion
right,
worth of debt.
right.
Right. Y'all haven't bonded in 5 or 6 years.
That's
There's been
right.
some small bonds done for some very targeted things. I think one of the things up in Columbus, one of the aluminum factory, and then
Yes.
and then Project Poppy, which was I think Amazon. There's been some small bonds and then some stuff for the Development Authority, but otherwise, most of the projects they're doing now they're doing through that capital expense fund. which is a better return on their investment.
Absolutely.
Because when we go into leaner times, we won't be having such a high debt service payment.
Which will happen.
Oh yes, it's
It's
coming.
cyclical. It will happen.
Yes, it's on its way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I would trust your opinion on that more. I would trust most people because you're paying
Yes.
attention to this now, and the federal government changes the way that they dole out money to the states, and so you're having to.
That's one of the things that when I went to the committee in September after the big beautiful bill, I had to explain to the committee we're going to have a problem in Medicaid and DHS and
We
a
talked
few of
about
those
that, right.
a few of
Yeah.
those areas because they're changing the percentages that we get back to the state. Our state has been one of the ones that have received most federal dollars back than any other state in the nation.
Really?
Yeah, so because of that, it's really going to hurt us on some of those things. Now, the legislature has the choice to make those changes. For example, MEMA, the way they're now doing disaster assistance, they've changed that to where they want the states to have more skin in the game. So
Sure.
it used to be, and I don't know these numbers for
Yeah,
sure,
right,
but it's
right.
like $4 million was the
Yeah.
threshold and the feds would come in. Well, that's now moved to $22 million. Well, that's a lot of damage in Mississippi to get to a $22 million. Because a tornado, yes, is going to cause 5 to 10 million, but not necessarily 22. So those are things that the legislature through policy will have to decide if they're going to fund on their own and keep that going.
That kind of
So-
answers my next question, but it may not. Is that the biggest challenge facing Mississippi's budget today? Is that the biggest challenge, navigating that?
That and the reduction in revenues that are coming due to the income tax reduction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But the sales tax is been doing really well. Use tax is up. So it
Right.
should balance out and be okay. But yeah, that's
what you're.
that's what I'm
what,
nervous about.
That's what
yeah.
you're nervous in watching. That's the
Federal dollar, yes.
Right, that's
And the
one-
loss of the federal dollars, because this thing at DHS could be anywhere from $100 to $150 million that will
Okay.
have to be funded depending on that.
Yeah, you were talking
Yeah,
about
right.
balance. Yeah, well, everyone wants a tax cut, but everyone wants a raise.
Yeah.
Well, you're cutting the money.
That's
with
why
the
they
tax
pay you
cut
the
to give
big
them a raise.
bucks, Gene. I mean, Dean,
Yeah.
that's why they pay you the big bucks over there.
Well, with her help, we've managed to do that.
I'm laughing about that
Yeah.
because they haven't had a raise since when?
84, 80,
Yes.
Which is
82 or
ridiculous.
84.
Governor.
Yeah.
Everyone has, except the
Yeah.
legislature. They're all
Except for the
afraid to do it,
legislature.
afraid someone will get mad at them.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, so leads me to the next spot. We've talked about a couple, but from the LBO's perspective, what agency do you see really needing more of a demand for funding? Where do you see the state's money really having to start to go?
Medicaid.
Medicaid. That's what I was
Even with the reduction of, so when COVID happened, I think it was everybody just about could get on Medicaid with
Right.
COVID because
Right.
of the federal government allowed a much wider, broader.
It was a wide.
Right. So now that they're doing redeterminations and the numbers are falling off, I think they're down 100,000 people.
Right.
But medical expenses are so expensive. Pharmacy benefits are so expensive. The Medicaid budget is growing because healthcare is growing. My healthcare is more expensive.
Yeah.
Everybody's healthcare is more
Everybody's.
expensive. So that's really where I see things that are going to have to change. I know the legislature's had conversations in the past 2 years where they did some technical amendments on the Medicaid amendments. We actually have to track all those general policies, those general bills per se, to make sure that once we get into conference, funding is available for those priorities that the legislature has chosen. So Medicaid, the Health and Human Services budgets, all of those. We are getting some federal dollars through the Rural Health Transformation Program. The governor announced that a week or two ago, so
Right.
we're trying to track that to see how it's
That's
going
a
to be
really big
spent.
deal.
It is. It is.
It's a real big deal.
That's a
So
real big deal.
we're trying to see how that's going to play into some of these state agencies and where they're going to plug those numbers in. So,
Right.
but yeah.
And yes, I can debate that with Gene and Dean later on the Medicaid because
Yeah.
that's a whole other large conversation. But from an LBO perspective, that's really what it's that's one of the things keeping you up at night.
Yes.
Is that.
Yeah. So during COVID, they ended up having about a $600 million surplus in special funds. So as that started dwindling, I think for 2 or 3 years, I've been letting the committee know, hey, they're down now to 300. Hey, they're down to 150. Hey, okay, session, we're about to have a huge ask. And so this past session, it was about $165 million they needed. And that's just to maintain. That's
Right.
not expansion.
That's
That's,
current
not
level.
that's
Right, that's just keeping it
that's
status
just
quo.
keeping it status quo. So, it's just going to continue to do that because the federal matching rate has been fluctuating a little bit. So, so yeah, that's what keeps me up at night.
Yeah. How do you balance competing priorities?
Since I'm not elected, I don't have to.
I know,
am
but I mean,
told.
when you look at that in the LBO, well, I know you're told, but
Yeah.
when you start developing
Oh.
and you're recommending, how do you balance those priorities when you're looking at that?
I do have conversations with the Speaker and Lieutenant Governor. Like Senator Kirby mentioned, right now my chairman is the Lieutenant Governor, and on July 1 it changes to Jason White, the Speaker. I have conversations with them. They kind of tell me what their policy areas are going to be. So, for example, the House this summer is having a select, I think 5 or 6 select committees. So we've actually been attending. They've done one on school consolidation. They've done one on government efficiencies. And so I'm seeing what his policy areas that he's going to focus on.
got it.
And the Lieutenant Governor, he's having, I think he has a select committee on redistricting or something, I think is coming up.
Believe me, yes.
And then there's a joint public health committee going on right now for rural health transformation. So I know what their priorities are just by the meetings that they're having. But I also sit down and talk to them. I had a meeting with the Lieutenant Governor last week for about an hour, and I have a long list of things he wanted me to check on and make sure I remind him of once we get in to committee. So I just do the best that I can and make sure that I have good staff around me that as long as I've already started a list for what we're going to be doing in session. Like I started it last week of some things I've already been called about by some members. So, because I work for all of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
What type of skill set is involved in your staff? You know, for this area, like what
Yeah.
skill set is involved?
I
there?
have 3 or 4 CPAs that work for me now. I'm a public policy person, but I had enough accounting
Sure.
and that I can do the math.
Yeah, and mama.
Yeah, and my mother, yes. My mother was very proud of me when I went to work for the budget office.
I bet.
But it's really that, more accounting, some finance. My revenue officer is a finance major, economics, and then my other guys are mainly accounting majors. I have a few that have worked in state agencies, so they can they know how to get in and actually get through the document and talk to an agency. So in addition to doing this, we work pretty hands-on with the budget people in each individual agency. So if they have questions of how do we need to do X, Y, Z, we're really kind of their first stop in asking that question. So we've had some stuff going on with the Supreme Court and funding for youth courts over the next year.
Right.
We've had multiple conversations with a few of the Supreme Court justices and their budget staff. We're always available to have those conversations. I met
So you have the high level conversation, but you have staff level conversations.
Oh yes, absolutely.
That are going on
all the time.
all the time.
2 of my guys today went over to the Department of Education to talk about the school attendance officer pay raise. So they're there today going through, no, this is how the legislature funded it. This is the number
Over at MDE.
over at MDE. Because we'll have agencies going, well, you didn't fund our PERS and health insurance. Oh, no, we did. We can show you how we did. Now, did we go in and reduce something else? Yes.
Right.
But
right.
but that is funded, and so we are able to have those conversations after session, after the bills are signed. We sit down and go through all of that. I do a lot of outreach now with agencies. I do a lot of talking like this. I go out and see various leadership groups around the state and kind of go over this just so it's not a hidden thing. Because when I first started, it was funny. It was like they're the men in black. You never see us. We had a door that was closed.
Sounds like the peer committee.
Yeah, it's like we don't know what y'all do
That
behind
is.
that door. And
That is.
Yeah, and so it's
Right,
yeah.
right.
You didn't know how we came up with the numbers, and so I'm trying to make it more transparent so that any member can ask that question.
Right. And I think from what I'm thinking about this, because what we're really talking about here is how the sausage is made.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
And that's why I said I didn't want to get just totally in the weeds, but you kind of have to a little bit because we're talking about how the sausage is made. And yes, you can have high-level discussions with the department heads, and that's what but when you really get down into it, the brass tacks, where the rubber meets the road, it's your staff and their skill set talking to each agency's budget office.
Correct.
And the people that work on their staff and reading, this is where my expenses are, this is where I'm seeing more cost because inflation is driving this price over here. Because we all, you're talking about on a state level, I deal with it on a city level, because we discuss it all the time and are constantly watching budget. Well, because we just have to.
Well, and it's like, I don't know what department you are, but like gas.
IT and communications.
Well, computers, servers, cloud server. Clouds.
That cost changes all the
all
time.
the time, right? So that's one of the things. Like
Yes.
the legislature passed the Cloud Center of Excellence. That is something that the state agencies have to do. Well, we partially funded to get everyone onto that this past year, and then next year we'll do the rest of the funding for it. So yeah, we're always watching that. And the director of ITS will call and say, hey, we'll see this general legislation, and we go to them, it's like, what is this looking like it's going to cost? And then we have to go tell the chairman of appropriations on both sides, hey, I know this is a great idea, but you need to know it's going to be $10 million.
Right.
And if they do it, they do it. That's perfectly fine. But we do fiscal notes during session. If a member calls and says, hey, I have this piece of legislation, but my chairman won't let me bring it out until I have a fiscal note from y'all, we actually go through the bill, every bill, or not every bill that's requested, and put together a cost estimate. And we have to work with the state agencies to do that because I don't know what IT cloud server storage is going to cost.
Sure, but that also changes all the time.
Correct. Yeah. Like we just had to buy servers in my office, and my guy came to me. He was like, yeah, the quote went up $200,000 in 6 weeks. I'm like, oh. He's like, yeah, what do you want me to do? So we went back down a little bit on the number of the amount that we have in our server room. So,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, right.
RAM got really expensive.
It does. I mean, it fluctuates depending on the
and so
the
we're
world
just having to
economy.
watching that.
Right.
So.
And that's why it kind of leads me back to what we were talking about earlier about how in the world do you really you're really working in 3 fiscal year budgets,
Yes.
and how do you do that? I mean, especially when that's the best circus act I think I could ever.
We juggle a lot.
You juggle a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
my goodness. All right, so it really kind of led me straight into my next question. How has technology today helped in state budget planning? What are you using? When you first started 20 years ago, you were probably doing it pen and paper and a spreadsheet. How are you doing it today? What's changed? How's technology helped?
Well, my younger guys that work for me will laugh and say I still am way too pen and paper and calculator. They all use Excel for everything and pivot tables and all this fun stuff.
Right.
We actually have an internal software that my IT department built 10 or 15 years ago where we actually input the budget numbers into and balance out. We're actually in the middle of a rewrite of it, so it's going to have some generative stuff in it going forward. I have some really good IT staff in my office that are actually looking at some AI tools. It will be closed network. You will not be able to,
Right.
It's all internal, but like we're able to do AI bill summaries now that are really pretty good. We use them for members. We use them internally. I'm eventually going to have to train it to go through all my old budget books so that we can do trends and analysis on what has happened with various state agencies. But really, I'm using just about the same technology as when I started because it's really just numbers.
Sure.
Yeah, it's really just numbers. Excel, put together a good spreadsheet, to working on trends and making sure the numbers balance.
Well, you see the future of, AI is going to be with us regardless whatever anybody's opinion is on it, but if you use it as a tool.
Yes.
Our very own Superintendent Chris Chisholm, really big. He just got off the speaking circuit at the
I heard about that.
at the Dell Forum.
Yeah.
He was there, and of course Pearl Public Schools has been using AI internally now for several years, and it has changed how they do lesson planning. It's changed how teachers grade papers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's made a huge. So
That's where we're going. I think.
You see, obviously you want it to make it to where your quality of life changes. That's
Yes.
because you probably don't get much sleep starting in January.
No. I usually have the last month of session, in addition to the 40 hours a week I'm working, I typically have between 80 and 100 hours comp time just from that month.
Just from that month,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Because, I mean, we do everything from the project bills, which are local improvement projects. My revenue officer and I are sitting with them, balancing to make sure the House and the Senate are spending only the amount they're supposed
And
to
it probably
spend.
really gets crazy when you get down to April.
Yeah.
Because when you're in conference, now
Yes.
now things are really,
Yes.
because now you're in redo number 3.
Correct, and that spreadsheet's enormous.
Right.
So yeah, and I'm again fortunate I have staff that is now taking some of that pressure off of me, because at one time I was doing all of that.
Oh my gosh.
So I've been able to hire, once they appointed me director 2 years ago, I was able to hire a really good deputy that has taken a lot of those kind of balancing acts off of me, and he's been working with me on that really well. So
That's
yeah.
It's really amazing
Yeah.
what all you guys and gals get accomplished over there.
Have you ever seen the budget book?
Well, I've seen it digitally,
Oh.
Like
but not
this,
print.
like
Yeah.
this thick, big book.
It's too bad you didn't bring one. You should have brought
Oh.
one.
Should have brought one.
You should have brought one that she gave you. Where's
Yeah.
yours?
Well, it will scare you. when you see it.
Oh, it probably looked like the old phone book in the day.
It does. It does.
Yeah,
It does.
right.
That size print too.
Yeah.
Right. So when do you take that digital, Senator? When do you start issuing everybody in the Capitol an iPad, and it's just going to be on there, and you quit printing it?
They'll have to change the statute.
Really?
Yes.
So you had to change the statute. When are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Like being put on the
Of course,
spot.
Yeah.
you're talking about how things change.
Yeah.
Actually, after my first term, which was a long time ago.
Yeah, right. Last week.
There were like 3 of us that didn't have an opponent of the 52, 3 or 4, and they gave us iPads
Yeah.
and said, "Try this."
Yeah.
Wow, great.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and so we said, "Hey, this is pretty good." I
Right.
think everyone needs one. So
Sure.
now everyone has a
laptop
or an
right,
iPad
right.
or both,
Or both.
and a phone.
But
that
it
you
sounds to
also
me
do.
like we need to change like the archaic rule of printing the book out and just make it digital.
We still have people like to carry that book around.
We do. We have it. I get some phone calls in January.
Are they in a minority?
We
Yes.
There are still a few, very few, but it's every year gets less. But of all the bills that we have, not just appropriate, I'm talking about everything on clipboard. You have a clipboard with bills this high for general bills, and then you have another one for revenue. So yeah.
Well, as citizen Frank sitting over here, it would make sense that we possibly could save some money in efficiency
Oh well,
by just
we
moving it all to
have. We
digital.
have.
By moving it all to digital.
Well, and we used to print 1,500 or
I know,
so.
right?
We're down to like 300 or 400 at this point, because really we have to give it to the 174. It's got to be on their desk the first
You
day of
said
session.
by statute.
By statute.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
I do have a few folks that have a library of them, and they come and get them, and I'm like, okay. And so we will probably always print unless the legislature
Right.
goes completely digital,
Right.
which could
right.
happen.
Which could happen. Which
Yeah.
probably should.
Yeah.
It will. It will happen.
It will eventually.
Which probably should
Yes,
at some
yes,
point.
yes.
Wow, man, I've enjoyed every second of this. All right, so pulling all that together,
Yes, sir.
kind of pivoting just a little bit. What leadership lessons have you learned while managing this team and working with the legislatures? And the reason why I'm
Good
asking this is
question.
something you could pass on. What leadership lessons have you learned from all of this?
Don't take anything you tell them personal.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go home mad because something didn't happen after you told them. Do your best to give them the full information. Don't be scared to tell them something they don't want to hear,
Right.
even if it's behind closed doors.
Right.
And we
Tell 'em.
appreciate that.
Yeah, you've got to be honest with them because they were elected to do this job. And if I give them bad information, that's on me. And years ago, one of the first agencies I had was the Department of Mental Health, and I went and visited, and you see what we do affects all the way down to that child that's in a group home or anything like that. So to me, I see that when I start seeing things that I touch a lot of people, and I don't vote on it. I'm not elected to do this, but
Right.
I want them to have the best information they need so that those decisions will make the state better. I really feel like we're a good starting place for good policy and good spending, and the best I can do is give them the information that they need. So I try to go out of my way, even if it's behind closed doors. And I've never had a member or a governor or lieutenant governor be like, quit talking to me, I don't want to hear that. They truly listen to me behind closed doors, and then the decisions they make when they get out on the floor, that's their decision, and I have to be okay with that. That was a hard lesson to learn, because when I was at the peer committee, we would do these reports, and it's like nothing ever came out of it. Like I spent 6 months on this report, and nothing happened. So
one person on peer
one
kills
thing.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So that was always frustrating, but doing that work is meaningful to the state, even though nobody even knows it's happening.
Well,
Because we're
today,
so behind the
that's
scenes.
what I'm saying. Today, we may have pulled the veil back just a little bit.
Oh,
Hey,
sure.
these are people sitting back here behind that you don't have any idea exist, and this is this massive amount of work they're doing.
Yes.
Which is the way that I see it.
Yes.
They work very, very hard.
Very, very hard.
How many do you have on your staff now?
I have in my budget staff like between 8 and 10, and then I have about 20 in my IT department.
I know, right? And you get all that done.
That's amazing. It's so much work.
I mean, that's
And the amazing thing, if they don't know, they say, I don't know, but I'll tell you tomorrow.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah, that is another good leadership. Never lie.
Right.
Yeah.
If you don't know the answer,
You don't know the answer. You're
Yeah,
correct.
that's a
But I
fact.
can go find out the answer.
Yeah.
And
probably-
we
Yeah.
typically find out.
Oh, and sometimes in a meeting you'll say, I don't have that information with me. I'll go back and call you back in a few minutes or
That's a
tomorrow.
nicer way of saying I don't know, Dean.
Well, they say that too. So.
Yeah.
But we'll find out.
But we'll
But I'll
find
find
out.
out.
Yes.
I'll
yes,
find
yes.
out. Wow, I have learned a tremendous amount of information.
Well, good.
This has been fun. Hadn't it been fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
think
got
it's
more
great.
she wants to talk about.
I know.
Well, I just brought, if I needed to tell you how big the budget was,
Well,
and then
no,
this is
no.
the revenue report.
No,
so.
no, I appreciate it. I didn't want to get down into if people
No.
if you want to know what the budget, there's a website for that.
Yes, there is.
There is.
You can go look at it. It's all public record.
Yeah.
Every last bit of it.
Correct.
When you came, it was 4 point
Yeah, 4
something?
point-
Four
something
point-
billion.
4.3,
And now seven-
and now it's 7.3.
And when I came, it was 3.2.
Ah,
Just a few years before
for
you
you,
came.
yeah.
Couple weeks.
Yeah,
Couple weeks, yes.
35 years ago.
Couple of weeks.
Well, that's only 5 years more than me, so
yeah,
you're good.
so
he
5
was
years.
one of my first subcommittee chairmen.
Right.
You did
I was on
insurance.
appropriations
Yes, sir, you were on
subcommittee chairman.
appropriations.
Starting my second year, I had no idea what I was doing.
No
Thank
clue.
God y'all led me by the hand. You know.
Yes.
This bunch of
You
over
and
here,
Debbie Saxon.
And Debbie Rubisoff.
And yes.
Yes.
You take them to lunch a lot?
No, but I should.
Yeah. If you just say, but you probably should. You guys in the legislature need to do.
They'll think I'm up to something.
No, no.
Y'all need to do something special for these.
So he's
people.
wanting
They
money
do. They
for
take very good care
I'm
of us.
telling you.
He's trying to
that.
get Frank some money over there in Pearl.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, where's that? All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
For really coming in and trying to explain. Hopefully, people understand a little bit about what you guys do. Before I let you get out of here, I started something the last couple of times, and this has been a lot of fun. We do a little lightning round,
Okay.
and it's where I'm just going to ask you just off the wall things. First thing that comes to your mind, keep it kind of short. Now, you may say something, I'm like, oh really? And I may want to dive off
Gotcha.
into that. But this is just kind of fun because it just kind of gets to know you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Scared?
A little.
Okay, don't be.
Nervous? Am I
All right.
turning red?
No, it's fine. All right. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
What's your favorite Mississippi town to visit? And don't say Pearl because you're sitting here. That's what Philip Gunn said.
So
To visit, just to visit. Favorite one.
I'm from Scott County, so I'm gonna say Harperville and Hillsborough.
Okay, well, I know where Hillsborough is.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know
They're
that.
right next to each other.
Okay.
That's where my family's
Out
from.
toward Ludlow. Yeah.
Out toward
yeah, out
Ludlow.
toward Ludlow.
Mm-hmm. If you weren't working in government finance, what career would you have chosen?
I really don't know.
You mentioned lawyer earlier.
Yeah, my mother wanted me to be a lawyer. I really fell into public policy my senior year,
Okay. Oh.
and so
And-
I always
yeah.
knew I wanted to work for the government. I didn't
Okay.
know what. But I wanted to.
Okay, that's fair. This one's fun. What's the first app you open on your phone every day?
Weather.
Cool. What's your favorite Mississippi food?
Fried pickles.
Catfish or barbecue?
Oh, depends on the day. I really like barbecue, so I'll go barbecue.
Okay. What book are you reading right now?
I haven't been because I've been working so much.
Budget-
I've been reading
budget
budget
book.
stuff. I don't read a lot for fun. I will say
don't?
that. I watch shows with my daughter.
Okay,
Watch-
I'll have my next one.
Yeah.
What show are you currently binging right now?
I can't say that, but I just finished a thing on Acorn called Mystery Road.
Okay.
It's a something out in the outback of Australia. It's
Really?
weird show that I
Okay.
like criminal.
All right.
I like British
All right.
criminal shows.
Uh-huh.
They're interesting
The
to
British-
me. So BritBox and stuff like
Like
that.
British humor and stuff like
Yes,
that? Yeah,
yeah.
okay. I do watch some of that.
Yeah.
Are you a Doctor Who fan?
No, my brother is a huge Doctor Who
Okay.
fan, so I'll let him take that.
Okay.
He's Star Trek, all that kind of stuff.
All that
so,
stuff.
Yeah,
Beach or mountains?
beach.
This one's fun. If your household budget had a line item for splurges, what would be the biggest expense?
Restaurants, eating out.
Okay. What's your favorite way to spend a Saturday in June and July?
Not doing anything or going to the pool in the neighborhood, and that's it.
Okay.
I'm resting. Like,
What's one thing people are surprised to learn about you?
I don't know. I don't know what I would say.
Talking to folks, like, oh, I didn't know that about you. I learned
Probably
that-
what I do, because it's so, when you start explaining what I do, nobody
They're like,
understands.
really?
Yeah. they're
Nobody
like,
understands it.
Yeah,
Right,
nobody
right.
understands it. That's probably the biggest thing.
Okay, okay. I agree with that.
Yeah.
What's your go-to comfort food?
Ginger ale and
Ginger
bagel
Knickerbocker.
chips.
bagel chips.
I eat a lot of Reese's.
Oh my!
Reese's peanut butter
Reese's-
cups during
That's your
session.
comfort food.
Yeah.
What was your first job?
I worked at the post office at Millsaps.
Oh, okay.
I was
On campus?
On campus. I did 4 years. I was there. I put mail up for 4 years
Okay.
at Millsaps. That was my first job.
What's your favorite subject in school?
History, government.
Oh,
Yeah.
if you could have dinner with any historical figure, what would that be? Who would that be?
Ooh. I don't know. I've never thought of that.
I know, right? I hadn't thought about it either, but I was like coming up with questions. I'm like, wow, if I could have dinner with any historical figure, what would it be? My answer is George Patton.
Oh.
George Patton would be good.
I'd love to have dinner with him.
Yeah, I've never thought of that.
I know, right? That's one to
Yeah.
think on.
That
See,
is
you're
one to
like,
think on. Thank you.
Maybe
I wonder-
Elvis. Elvis.
Elvis.
There's a lot of Mississippians that I would
know,
love
right?
to, but I don't know that I could pick. Eudora Welty would be cool.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I
would be
worked
good.
with her sister-in-law when I was at Millsaps.
No kidding.
Yeah, so I sort of adjacently.
Kind of adjacently.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mitty
she
Welty.
actually taught an English class
Yeah.
for a while at
For
Millsaps.
right.
Yeah.
My wife took a class from her.
No kidding.
So-
Eudora Welty would be a good one to have dinner with. Sure would be. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, flying.
Oh, yeah.
Flying would be cool.
What's the one thing you can never leave the house without?
My water. My phone.
I love, right, your phone. Most people say your phone, but okay.
No, if I don't have my water cup, we got a problem.
If you don't have your water with you, I got
Yeah.
a major problem. Wow, that's a lot of fun. What advice would you give your younger self?
don't sweat the small stuff. It'll all work out in the long run,
Yeah.
and you'll make it. Don't worry about
Don't worry. Okay, I like that. All right, last question. Then this one's for real, not for fun. This is for real.
Uh-oh.
If you could help every Mississippi citizen understand one thing about the state budget process, what would it be?
That there are a lot of people really looking out for the betterment of the state. That it takes a lot to do this work, but you have a lot of good-hearted, well-meaning people both in the legislature and in the staff that really want to see the state advance and see the state do better and be better and go higher.
The calling?
It really is. It really is. And that was one of the things we talk about in church. It's like, where do you see your place in the world? I really feel like that has been my calling, to help people.
It's service.
It's service, yes, in service.
It's service. And developing that budget and being frugal, and everybody on the same page, thinking the same way.
Correct.
Everybody rowing in the same direction.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. Wow. Hasn't this been fun?
It
Have we
has.
learned
Yes.
something today?
I hope so.
I know I have.
Well, good.
I know our audience is going to be like, wow, that's cool. Let me rewind that.
Yes.
They're going to have to a lot.
Well,
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
always,
thank-
for several years, I've known what to do. I just don't know how they do it.
I know. I don't know how they do it. Either.
It's impossible.
That's just amazing.
They got like 500 people over there in a closet.
I know, right? Thank you so much.
Yes, sir, thank you for
I
having
really
me.
do
I
appreciate it,
appreciate
and
it.
I hope you'll come back.
Sure.
You know, and maybe next time when you come back, it might be just for a small moment. You might bring her in and it's like, this is what we're talking about in the budget, and this is kind of where we are, and this is what it looks like, and you can go. You know, we can kind of get into that. But you know, it is interesting that you start in September. You know, really in August, but
Yeah.
you know that you really get started in the physical school year.
Yes.
But thank you for coming in and helping me and everyone else understand what it is y'all do over there.
Well, thank you. I
'Cause
appreciate it.
that's a
It's a
lot.
lot.
It
a lot
is
of
a
stuff.
lot of work.
Senator, thank you for setting it up.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm so happy she came.
I am
Yes,
too.
thank
Thank
you
you.
for
She's
having
hard to catch. It's,
I can see why.
she's
She's
so
not
busy.
busy, got nothing
No,
going
no.
on. I mean, my goodness.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. All right, y'all don't run off, because when we come back, we're going to talk about what's going on this week in Pearl. We'll be right back.
Here in Pearl, we have Trustmark Park. It seats 8,500 people. It's a great venue that we have here locally. You can catch a baseball game. We have a new team, the Mississippi Mud Monsters, so we're so excited about that. And Trustmark Park, the stadium's been fully renovated. Adjacent to that, we have Bass Pro Shop, as well as the Mississippi outlets that people can come shop and enjoy and have a great time. So it's a good place to come. It's a destination spot for our city. We did a $12 million renovation to our Parks and Rec several years ago, and what we were missing was another key area for our children to come and just be able to hang out and have fun, but also have some playground equipment that was really cutting edge. I've always thought if you can get your community together, then you can have a stronger sense of community. And I think that's what Main Street brings to the table for us. And even though we're a post-World War II city and our architectural doesn't signify a downtown, we're trying to have an area that we create that people can come together and have a sense of community.
Hi, folks. Welcome back into This Week in Pearl. I'm your host, Frank Hutton, and I really appreciate Leanne Robinson coming in, the Executive Director of LBO. Man, we could really get off into the weeds there. I hope we didn't lose a lot of y'all, but that was really informative. Very impressive how they do things over at LBO. I'm so happy that she came in and agreed to sit down and kind of talk through the processes there at LBO and how that works and how things go. I have always wondered, you know, really how they do things, and it's amazing to understand that they really work in 3 fiscal years at a time. That's truly amazing, and I applaud them for their efforts and appreciate everything they do for our state. All right, so what's going on in Pearl? Well, right now, you can catch a Mississippi Mud Monsters baseball game. Be sure and check them out. Go to mudmonsters.com. I think it's Mississippi Mud Monsters, msmudmonsters.com. You can get the schedule over there, get tickets over there. Go check them out and just support our local baseball team. It's a great thing to go take out the family and spend an evening with them, catching in some baseball. It's going on right now. So just check out mudmonstersbaseball.com. That's what it is, mudmonstersbaseball.com. All right, Parks and Recreation has sign-ups going on for football and cheer in the fall. It's happening right now. It goes on till June the 30th. You can call them at 601-932-3541 and get information, or you can go to pearlparksandrec.com and you can register online as there. Look, I've enjoyed bringing you this show today. Again, thank you to Leanne Robinson for coming in. Fantastic information. Really enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed that too. So you guys have a great week, and I will see you next time.